Alright, Metroid 2, Return of Samus. Now, I probably played this game to death, replayed it and replayed it. Um, oh, I wasn't a, I didn't have a Nintendo, so I didn't really get to play through Metroid on the NES. But um, I always wanted to, and then when I later got the chance, kind of, I don't know, I kind of didn't like it that much. It was kind of hard. I got frustrated with it. I was also younger. I'd probably be able to get through it now with no problems. But I beat the game with the Justin Bailey code. Um, but you know, I didn't play through that game. It was I cheated and got to the end and did that. So I was able to finish the game and see what they do at the end. But I wanted to put this one up because a lot of people never, because it was only a Game Boy game, a lot of people didn't actually play this and went straight on to Super Metroid, which was one of my favorite games. I really liked the Metroid design and the way they took the story, and I don't know, I thought it was cool for a kid my age playing these games about aliens. I liked it. And but Super Metroid would ties in the story that happens in this game, and they do it real briefly, and that's about, you know, that's most people, that's about what they how they continued the Metroid games was the NES. They played that one, and then I think most people didn't beat it, and then they moved on to a Super NES version, or the Super Metroid, which is the continuation of the story, which is actually Metroid 3. And I always found it a shame that they still haven't remade this game because I really liked the mechanics of how it worked. Um, I mean, the mechanics. Sorry, wrong terminology. The mechanics are about the same of what you would expect for a Metroid game. Um, it plays the same as any other Metroid game with how you jump and but you also got some interesting items that aren't in any of the other ones. Like you turn into a ball, you hit down again, you become sticky, and then you can roll on all surfaces, which is very cool. And I think it introduced the space jump, where you can keep jumping while you flip, and the spin attack. So it introduced a lot of elements on the Metroid series that are in all the rest of the games. And so anyway, as I was trying to say, on the bottom right, that little pumping thing, that's showing there's 39 Metroids. And so what's cool about this is the Metroids that you know from the first one, the little jellyfish guys, are starting to mutate. And I think yeah, coming up to one right now. See, they're mutating. They're not just that. Now it's a little different. And see, what's cool is as you get through the game more and more, the more of these guys you kill, you get an earthquake, which I think is going to happen about right now. Well, maybe not. Yeah, you get an earthquake, and then so that means a lot of areas where there was lava, there's no more. There's no lava anymore. And so it's got your basic secrets that all Metroid games have. A lot of secrets, and yeah. So the deeper you get into the game, you keep getting deeper into the planet, and it's not as, you don't backtrack as much as you did in the other ones. Like I never did finish the NES version. I moved on from here really, and you just pretty much in this one you just keep going deeper. You do get parts where you kind of bounce back and forth, but you don't go all the way to the beginning of the game really in this one. In the end boss is really cool, and it's cool the way you can defeat him just by firing missiles, and but there's also another way you can kill him. or kill it, whatever it is. And yeah, so the deeper you go, those Metroids they're transforming and I guess evolving into bigger creatures. They grow, and they become bigger, and they're then new boss fights. And there's a lot of them. See, I got 38. That number will change too. I don't think 38's the total. I think it raises at one point when you drop it down, if I can remember right. But I did play this. I played through this game a bunch of times. Um, the thing that was cool. It's a really long game, and there's so much stuff, just like any other Metroid game, that you can find. So when you replay it, I'd always find, a new secret or something I hadn't found before. But I'm sure from the remakes of the on the Game Boy Advance, Fusion. No, Fusion wasn't. It was Zero Mission was a remake of the first one, which I liked that a lot. That was cool. I thought they did a really good job. I'm going backwards, aren't I? I think they did a really good job with that. Yeah, man, maybe I'm supposed to go back. But I'm sure they're gonna remake this. I saw somebody on the internet was doing some kind of remake of their own. Um, I don't know what came about with that, but I'm going backwards. I know it. But anyway, I'm sure they'll remake this. But I still think it's worth coming back to the original Game Boy and playing through it if you are into the Metroid series. 'Cause that way you can, you know, at least before the GameCube games, they all followed the storyline pretty well, and I really liked how this one tied in with Super Metroid, which I'd say still is probably the best Metroid game made. Um, but anyway, yeah, this is Metroid 2. I'm kind of screwing up with where I'm. Oh, look, I don't know what I was thinking. There's a save right there. It's cool. This had a battery save. Very awesome. No password systems for this. And that continued on with the series after that. The NES one had a lousy password system and with symbols and everything, not just numbers and letters. I mean, I don't know. Again, save feature is very cool in this. So before that earthquake happened, there was lava here. And so since I went and killed that, I can now crawl down deeper into the planet. Where, a lot of new enemies and a lot of crazy stuff. It's actually a really surprisingly good game. But yeah, I'll probably leave it at that. Again, it's a really long game, so there's no way I could. I mean, I can quit anywhere. It doesn't really matter, and I'm not gonna really be spoiling too much. So yeah, if you should check this game out if you haven't yet, and if you're a fan of the series. All right, thanks again. This is Captain Goodnight. This is Metroid 2 for the Nintendo Game Boy. Check it out if you will. Thanks. Bye.